distinguished delegates, I welcome all of you to this working session, Electoral Reform for Strengthening Democracy. We have with us today Dr. S.Y. Qureshi, Election Commissioner of India. I will request Mr. Anilji to kindly escort Dr. S.Y. Qureshi, Election Commissioner. Okay. I will request Singh Huda, who is the Advocate General of Haryana, to take his seat. He is actually by the activities of dissidents in our system, he is proposing the name of the incoming chief minister within their party meeting when the leader of the house is being elected. So, I will request Mr. O.P. Saxena,
who has made this seminar a reality, from where not only from India, people from all parts of the country are here. And when we are talking main theme about terrorism, now terrorism has a relation directly with the form of government which you have. Because basic pioneer principles of rule of law, when we talk about, there are three basic principles: absence of arbitrary power, right to equality, and the main head of the government is also an elected person who is not coming by way of hierarchy. So India, technically speaking, we being a democratic country, are having all the three principles. But the greatest setback which we receive in the whole process of combating any problem, whether it is terrorism, whether it is corruption, it is a democratic form of government which has so many advantages. We can't have any better form of government than democracy. But the real problem comes how the electoral process works. When India became independent, adult franchise was taken and we give the right to vote to every Indian citizen. Now, in a democracy, it is government of the people, by the people, for the people. And initially, 2-3 elections which were fought, they were there when we were having the great legends like Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, who was leader of Congress party, even in opposition Ram Manohar Lohia and other distinguished people. Now, democracy served that important purpose in the initial stages. But the moment the ruler, who is a democratic elected leader, he has to fight an election. It was felt how to get money for election. Now, that is the main part where the drawback of democracy starts. I am a person who has been always advocating state funding of elections. People may agree, may not agree. In this country or in the whole world, there cannot be a person so centric that he will spend crores of rupees in fighting an election of MLA or member of parliament. I am certainly of the view that no person on the earth can do it, spending, it is a whole-time job. And the salary which is being paid, now of course member of parliament and MLA are getting better perks and facilities, but still, the amount of investment which they make in election. Now you see, in every constituency, there are about minimum 10 lakh voters. If you have to send a postcard to them for canvassing purpose, the cost will be, now it will be a competition postcard, 4-5 rupees per postcard. How you will reach to your electorate? So when we give this adult franchise, the shortcoming which we left, that will give this voting right to those people who don't appreciate the value of their vote. Hardly in any election we will find 50% people voting for the candidates. And then we have the first come to the top. I remember one where I always quote, in Sirsa one constituency in Haryana, there was 9% voting total. And there were 10 candidates. And out of that, who was the winning candidate who got only 3% of that total votes. And he was declared elected. Can he be termed as a representative of the people? This is another problem. And when we have to go to the people, people expect too much from their elected representative. Now, most of the people are bar council elections are going on by the side of this election. We know how these elections are fought and how much money is involved even in the bar politics. I am of the, even in small elections in any area, even for a resident welfare association, you have to throw parties, you have to throw all type of expenses which you have to do. The money power and muscle power, that is the bane of our democracy. And election commission, hats off to the election commissioner like Mr. Qureshi and other predecessors. They have done a marvelous job in trying to curb this tendency of violence in order to see that money power does not have its important role. But I am still of the view, though of course it may be very costly affair to fund an election, but I am of the view if democracy has to survive, if good people are to be elected, then it should be state funding of elections. Now people simply will ask how much expenditure is involved. I suggested to them that to make this fund available and participation of our democracy, and election commission, hats off to the election commissioner like Mr. Qureshi and other predecessors. They have done a marvelous job in trying to curb this tendency of violence in order to see that money power does not have its important role. But I am still of the view, though of course it may be very costly affair to fund an election, but I am of the view if democracy has to survive, if good people are to be elected, then it should be state funding of elections. Now people simply will ask how much expenditure is involved. I suggested to them that to make this fund available and participation of every people, we have so many taxes, income tax, sales tax, number of taxes, have one levy as the election levy. And I suggested only 1 rupee per month from each voter. This levy of 1 rupee per month will give crores of rupees to the kitty of the election commission, which can be utilized for financing the election. Then another thing which can be done, no poster, no bar. Now this time to larger extent it has been implemented. No poster, no wall painting, no public meeting by any party. Let the election commission organize a meeting in each district where all candidates should be given the opportunity to give their viewpoint. It will cut short expenses. Because if election commission is organizing out of that fund, no candidate will have a grudge that I don't have an opportunity. Now media is playing a very important role. TV channels and all other things are coming. Their time should be allotted to the voter. No public meeting, no public rally. And no any person demanding vote on caste, religion or any such narrow consideration, he should be debarred from the election. It is a democracy. We can't divide the people in the name of elections. So this is another important aspect. Anybody who talks, now unfortunately this is about media, but right from the distribution of tickets, once they start looking into a candidate, how many Sikhs are there in this constituency, how many Muslims are there in this constituency, how many Jats are in this constituency, and tickets are distributed on that basis. That creates again a division in the society. So anybody or any political party doing this type of electoral process, that should be also debarred from contesting election, if you really want to make them meaningful. No candidate should spend a single penny from the pocket, then only he will be able to serve. A person who is spending crores of rupees on election cannot serve you. Same thing is with the political parties. Ultimately, who will give funds to the political parties? The earlier inspector Raj and other type of various license and permit, they have been utilized by all the governments. I'm not talking about any political party. All governments, all rulers do have money generation so that they may contest election. Now there is no fixed term of election. Any IAS officer, once you qualify, you have a security of job. Once you pass that examination, you go to judiciary, you pass a test, you become a judge and you are safe up to retirement, and even after retirement you will get pension. Politicians are the most pitied person. Now of course we have started pensions. But, and for this reason, there is an encouragement to do all electoral malpractices. Competition is so high that for every small elected post, people all type of fanciful election campaigning, liquor, distribution of sarees, distribution of clothes, all these things are open known fact. And if this is to be done, there has to be a more effective election commission which can only protect our democracy and protect our electoral process. These are some suggestions. We may differentiate. We may have
with the purpose that he should know the views of people from different sections of the society. On the point you have raised, that the government should fund the election. I know in 1982 in Haryana there was shortage of kerosene and petrol, and special permits were being given to the candidates because they have to campaign. So when that was the system, people intentionally, although they know they don't have the support, but only to get those benefits, they become candidate. So how we can put in a way that there should be security deposit. One side we say funding, the other side security deposit. That also not an answer. And if we don't have the security deposit from the candidates, then anyone, he will ask and he will pay money. He has no friend, no supporter, but he will say to some of his colleagues, some of his neighbor, that you take 100 rupees and sign on my nomination paper, because by that I will be getting such the publicity and I will be earning money. So our distinguished election commissioner will enlighten us on this, but this is my view. If we start fund election, this will be not proper, because here there are very few foreigners in this. So I can safely say we want to earn everywhere. So if we become a candidate, then we will try to extract from here. So people, everybody will become. The purpose of having this security deposit was only this, that only people who are really interested, who know that he can win, he can be raised, they become candidate. Not that anyone. So that was the reason that we have the condition of depositing security deposit. Now I will request Mr. Kirti Bansal, who is a student of law from Rajiv Gandhi National University of Law, Patiala, to express his views in 3 minutes.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Kshitij Bansal, reverend guests present on the dais. I would directly come upon the recommendations I have based upon the research we had in our research center in the law school Patiala. The basic problem when we deal with the terrorism as well comes to the policy making. And the problem in basic Indian administration is we do not demarcate between politicization, which has to precede administration. Even after the elections, even after the government is formed, politicization of administration still remains there, be it the Council of Ministers or be it the Parliament or be it the MPs. So my